So, brings me to introducing my guest today, Carmella Yeo!
What's up, Carla?
That actually is her last name.
Yes, it is.
Welcome to another great episode with Women in Real Estate, powered by Badass Agents. Today's a great day. Today's actually a very special day. I have a very special guest with me today that joined me, a beautiful young lady who's been in the industry for 6 years and who just absolutely gives it her all to her clients. But I want to tell my quick story because, well, we all have stories, right, on how we run our business and where we started and how it all started. It definitely didn't start by me being behind this camera and giving this podcast. It wasn't easy. But I remember there was a moment in my life when I was a mom, and I still am. But I gave, I have 2 kids. I have a 10-year-old and I have a 14-year-old. But I remember that when I first started in real estate, it was probably one of the hardest times because I felt like I got my license to spend more time with my kids. I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and get my license. Maybe I'm just going to kind of work from home and look at it as play money, I guess, just to kind of help out my husband in the business. No biggie. I'm not going to be the main source of income. It's not a big deal. I just remember just kind of giving all these emotions and thoughts in my head and like thinking that this was going to be easy and making a deal or two here and there was going to be okay, just extra money in our savings account, no big deal. It's kind of the way I thought about things, and well, now we're a full-blown brokerage. But the way it started was me working for the company. And I owned the company. At least that's how I actually showed up. I felt like I never really had time to be in the business. So it was like I have kids, I have a toddler, a newborn. I could only give 40% of my time into the business. So my husband could never really depend on me being all in. It was just, it can't depend on her. If she's owner, but yet she's not showing up like an owner. In my mind, I'm like, well, this wasn't supposed to turn out this way. I was just supposed to be part-time, no big deal. Well, at the end of the, a couple years went by that it was just like, I want more. The kids are getting older. Where am I going with this? It was just all over the place. I didn't know what I wanted. Man, it felt good. It felt good to be uncomfortable because I knew that I wanted more. I didn't just want to be that part-time agent. I wanted more. So, brings me to introducing my guest today, Carmella Yeo!
What's up, Carla?
That actually is her last name.
Yes, it is. And I almost wore that same color lipstick today.
Oh,
I wish I would have.
Yeah, isn't that pretty? A little bright.
It's very pretty on you.
I know, kind of,
yes.
Gives that attitude to my teeth.
Yes, I like
Bring
it.
that
It's your
personality.
color.
Yeah, thanks. So I wanted to ask you, in that story, I think we have a lot in common there, sister.
Yeah, we
Talk
do.
to me.
We have a lot in common. And I think I've told you this before. I know I am me and you are you, but Noah's like, you're like Carla Jr. sometimes. He is. He's like, you guys have so much in common and you're both powerful women, and I feel like we can definitely relate in so many ways. And that does speak to me, that story of, trying to, jump into a career, but then like take care of the kids, and you're trying to go all in, but you just can't really get your mindset there because you're trying to do, like for me, my kids are first and foremost, always. And so I get like that mommy guilt when I try to put everything into my business. And so I think for the first, let me backpedal. I got into real estate after I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years. I was very gung-ho about it, like this is my time, I'm going to go, I'm going to kick some ass in real estate. Well, a year into it, I got pregnant with Alina, who is 4 now. And the first year was fine. I was fine during my pregnancy. I was showing houses at 9 months, pregnant 9 months. Closed a deal from the hospital bed, not even joking. And then the first 6 months was fine because, she just ate and she slept.
Right.
But as she became more demanding, because my older 2 are very self-sufficient, who are now 15 and 12, it became very difficult for me to juggle both. But I didn't want to inconvenience anyone during that time.
Yeah, and I remember that. I remember when I used to own a UPS store, and I remember my first one. It was easy. she went everywhere with me. She was in her car seat. I was able to open up the store with her. I was able to just manage. But even then, if I look back, I don't think I was ever all into my retail store, because I always felt the guilt of leaving my baby at home with my mother-in-law. And my mother-in-law basically raised my first child, because it was just like I was opening a retail store. I was the owner, but I was in some ways showing up like an employee. I wasn't all in the business because of the guilt of being that.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I'm a mom. I can just take her with me. So I would say, in the store, and the store didn't happen to make it. It actually failed. I sold it and it closed down. And I probably, if I go back, I'm like, man, what would I have had done different? A lot. I wouldn't have known that guilt is normal for us to feel like that as moms, but to really truly see the success, we need to understand that we can't do it all. We just can't.
Right.
Or things are going to start falling apart. And so I felt the guilt of wanting to work, because I know that was like I'm a career woman. That's I'm an entrepreneur. I love to work. And then feeling the guilt of being a mom and just being like, okay, where do I want to go? How do I want to show up? And I wasn't showing up like a true business owner.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I just feel like, and then the second one comes and things get worse.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, wow, I have this much more. So
Right.
tell us, how are you juggling things now as an agent?
Well, I went through this time where, like I said, Alina was about 6 months old. I was trying to show up for everybody. I was like trying to be superwoman for everyone, and then I had nothing left for myself at the end of the day, and I was drowning. I didn't want to talk to anyone about it. I didn't want to inconvenience my husband or my mother-in-law.
Why didn't you?
I can't really tell you why. I wanted to show up for everyone because I care. And that's what my clients get from me. And that's what my family gets from me. They know I care. But there's a difference in caring for everyone and trying to do everything for everyone. And I had to learn the difference, and I had to learn to ask for help. And so once I asked for help, which was telling my husband, like, when I was a stay-at-home mom for 9 years, I was amazing at doing all the things around the house that was expected, and that I actually enjoyed doing them. But when I chose to start my career, it was kind of like everything still stayed the same as to who did what, but I was also expected to bring in income on top of it. And so I had to sit down and have a conversation with him. And he's so supportive. He just didn't know what he didn't know.
Well, this is amazing. Your story is super amazing. I just found out like last year, a couple of years ago, that is your high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
Right? How long have you known him?
I met him when I was 16, and we've been married. This summer will be 16 years. So so we've been married 15 years.
Yeah, that's huge. Your high school sweetheart. That is, in the support behind it. I'm sure it wasn't easy.
No, it was very difficult the first year, because he wasn't used to that independency that I was finding, and being a real estate agent. And I remember that first check I got. It wasn't even that much. It was like $3,000, but it was money that I made, because I went from high school to being married to having children. Yeah. So that was like that first oh my God, I can do this. Well, I can provide too.
Let me ask you this: how he took it, because I know, and I'm going to go back again.
Okay.
Rewind to my retail store. I remember I used to open up the store, especially during the holidays, at like 6 a.m. until like 1 p.m. I mean, we were constantly so busy, but. And that's during the holiday hours. So you can only imagine every shipping store out there stays open that late, by the way. It's not because they're open, it's because we have so much packaging to do.
Right.
And I just remember AZ always calling me and telling me, when are you going to be home? I'm scared. And I think you and I had this conversation before, that you're closing the store by yourself and you're opening it too early. So he was constantly, I wanted to rise as like, hey, you need to stay out of my way. I'm a business owner. I'm a retail store owner. But yet he was kind of babying me in a sense.
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. And I kind of felt like, you want me home because you're hungry and you need laundry? Or do you want me home because you're really like, being like, my wife shouldn't be working.
Right.
You want me to rise, but then you kind of pull me back in a sense. So I always felt that way. And I think that all said and done, and now that I'm in real estate, opening up this brokerage, I kind of sensed a little bit of that resistance where he's like, I want you in, but I don't want you in.
Yeah.
But so it was up to me to truly show up and be like, it has nothing to do with him. He's just wanting me to rise up. I feel like he was challenging me.
Yeah.
By telling me, hey, we need a business meeting, you and I need to meet. And the last thing he wants me to hear is say, well, let me see if I have a babysitter. It's like either yes or no, let me schedule you in, like a true business owner.
Yeah.
So did you get that resistance from your husband, like yes and no?
Absolutely, yeah. I would tell him, this is what I need to do. I need to be doing open houses every weekend. And then he'd be like, we can't do them by yourself. Because, he's a police officer, so he's like, no, you're not seeing the house all by yourself with all these signs pointing to, like, where my wife is sitting. But then I wanted to go and do those things without restriction, but I also wanted to make sure that he felt I was safe. And so it was really hard. There was resistance, but then there was but he supported me 100%. So it was we had to find out what worked.
Right.
And so we have a system that works for us now, and I don't, I sit my open houses by myself, but we're very safe about it. And really, though, like you were saying, I think we need to show our husbands that we're committed for them to really show up for us.
Right.
Like once I started showing Noah that I was very committed to my business, that's when I started really seeing him pick up the pace and helping me with the kids and the dishes and cooking. And because he would watch me and be like, damn, she's on top of it. She's committed, And then so it made it easier for him to just go and help around the house.
So now what can your clients, who you are today, what can your clients expect from you?
Care. We talked about that. I truly care about my clients. It's a personal experience. It's never a I'm just here to make a check. I'm here to help you, and I'm going to get a check after this because I need to provide for my family. But you become a priority.
You do, and you have a really good relationships with all your clients.
I do. I see
that.
We just had dinner, Noah and I, with some of my clients on Friday, and that's kind of a common thing. They usually become my friends.
They do, and I see that on Facebook a lot. Where can we find you? Where can anyone find you if they need to?
Facebook, my personal page, and then I also have an Instagram page too.
But I love that my personal page. It's like, hey, this is who I am.
It's not a secret. I am who I am, and I don't need to have two separate pages. Like, just find me on Facebook.
Yeah, I love that you said it's not a business page, it's a personal page. And that's why your clients are so connected with you.
Right.
Because you have that, and you have all of you out there on Facebook to say, hey, me and my kids, my husband, and my passion. And so I just love that you give all of each of your clients. It's not a business page, guys. It is a personal page. So it's really neat here. So that's what makes you different than any other agent out there. You're not only your beauty and your brains, but what makes you different?
I think what makes me different is just the way that I communicate with my clients, and not just my clients, because there are multiple people involved in a transaction that our clients don't see. And if I'm not communicating with those people, a deal can go south very quickly. If I'm not representing my clients the best that I can by making sure I'm negotiating the best that I can on their behalf, or communicating with the lender to make sure we close on time, and just really truly bringing intention into making it as least stressful as possible and getting them what they want. And I just feel like there are not very many agents out there who truly, genuinely care about their clients.
I love that. You have so much passion. Not only do you have such a big heart, and just you are an amazing woman, just a mom and a wife. It just kind of shows who you are and what kind of service you give back to your clients. Yeah. And you just take care of them, and overall.
I do.
So what do you do? What are your hobbies? What do you like to do, Carmella?
I like to dance. But I don't do dance classes or anything. I just dance in my living room. We have dance parties. I dance.
I like it's something like gymnast or something. Like, wait, what do you do?
No. Well, we have dance parties as families. We're kind of quirky like that.
And I see that you are on Facebook with your community a lot.
Yeah.
And it's massive. It's not like you have a huge circle of friends that are just, it seems like they're amazing.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that I care about in my community. And of course, I have those that I hold really close to me, because I'm just one of those people that I don't like to scratch the surface. I'm a very deeper level, let's connect type of person. So when I'm trying to connect with those people, it's, we're hiking, we're hanging out. We like to play cornhole.
And these are your clients.
And these could be my clients. This could be just I like to have a good time. I'm adventurous.
Yes,
I like
I
to
see
go
that.
and see, like, my husband is an Arizona native. He had never been to the Grand Canyon, so I took him last year for his birthday. Like, I love to go and see what's out there and not just always have, like, that same scenery all the time. So I'd love to be outdoors.
And you. I know that I've seen a lot of video out there and photos of you of actually interacting with just group of people all the time. Are those are your clients that you build relationships with? I saw that. Yeah, guys. I mean, it's kind of neat. If you follow her, Carmella, go to her page and you'll just see her always having phenomenal parties. But they're not parties with balloons and music. It's just very adventurous with a lot of your clients. So you have that connection with them, which is pretty neat. You have an RV.
Yes. Oh,
what made you buy that? Yeah, what made you buy that?
We just, it's
a great purchase.
We both have demanding jobs. And so we always knew we wanted to camp because it's a way to get outside and enjoy the outdoors, which we all love to do in my family. But tent camping was not a success. It was horrible.
Tent camping?
It was not good. Alina cried all night. She brought in the coyotes and all kinds of stuff.
She was making friends with coyotes?
Well, like, her cry was bringing in, like, animals, and we were like, we had no sleep, and no one around us got sleep. And so we're like, you know what? Let's get an RV. Let's go all in. Let's really do this. And then these are memories that our children will never forget. These are the times where when we ask our kids about their childhood, like, these are the stories that they're going to share. And that's important to us.
And that goes to say what great, by the way, agent you are, because you know that when you go purchase a home, that's where the memories are going to be built in that first purchase, especially when you work with a lot of families.
Yeah.
You do, and I see that. You work with a lot of families with kids, and you know that, at a certain age and level of what they're actually looking for, because you've been there, and you creating memories with your family is huge. And you said something so powerful, and I love that. Creating memories is huge because that's what they're going to remember. So when you do go open up that door and show homes to your buyers, your heart is all in it, because you know the environment you want the family to be in, and it's like, hey, this is a good fit for you. I mean, this is where you want to start. When you purchased your home, I saw that you ended up going into a bigger one. You sold your house you lived in, right? Or is it the same one?
No, we've lived in the same house for the last 11 years.
What were you building?
Our very first home, we moved in on my 23rd birthday. Maybe you've seen a client's house. I mean,
no, I think you were building. Yeah, I thought you didn't. Your husband build or create a chimney or a fireplace in the back?
Oh, yeah, but that was just at
home.
Our house. Like, we've done all kinds of things at our house. Like, he's a very he's a do-it-yourselfer. He's very handy.
I saw that.
So we've stayed in our house, and we love our house. And right now we have no intentions of leaving because it serves our family well. And so we're just looking to create memories now outside of our home.
Your passion all around, the love that you have for your family. I can only imagine the service you give to your clients. Brings me to my next question. How do you happen to just juggle it all? I know your daughter does horseback riding. Your boy does soccer. The little one is dance. So how do you juggle and just manage everything? Because I know for me, I have all kinds of help.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I even have a food service. I have everything.
I'm not there yet, but I'm going to get there. But for right now, it's just, it's being okay with, like, I had to really just come to the realization there's no perfect balance. I was chasing that. There's got to be perfect balance. But there is no perfect balance. Some days I'm going to give more to my business. Some days I'm going to give more to my family. And I have to be okay with that. And I feel like if you have that inner peace, like, you will manage. I ask for help. I have a very great tribe of friends who will help me. Hey, I'm not going to be able to pick up Alina today from preschool. Can you pick her up for me? I'll be there by 4 o'clock. So that, I have to ask for help. And then Noah, he will help in any way that he can. And I also have my mother-in-law who helps. So ask for help. That's the biggest thing that I can say for women is to ask for help. Don't try to pretend you can do it all.
There's a lot of women out there that don't have that help. They don't have family in state. Daycare is not an option.
Daycare is a big topic. We had this huge conversation where I was really struggling because I wanted to give more to my business, but I didn't think my husband would approve of daycare expenses. But yeah, I couldn't expect my circle to watch my kid full time. Like, that's not fair.
You brought up a really good subject. I remember I can't remember the time frame, but there was a moment where my second was not born yet. My little one, she wasn't born yet. It was my first. and she was around 6 or 7 years old, maybe younger. And I remember always depending on my in-law or my mom. And I would go over there and say, I'll have a set schedule where I had clients I needed to meet, maybe 9, 10, 11 o'clock. And I think a lot of people go through this.
Yeah.
And I would go and pack the baby's things or, my toddler, and I would go knock on my mother-in-law's door, and she wouldn't answer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it would either be she'd be outside, she couldn't hear the door, my mom would do the same thing. So it wasn't like I felt like at a point in my life, in my career, I couldn't depend on anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because I was always feeling like I had this attitude, like, why didn't you pick up the door? I had an appointment.
Right.
And it was like, it wasn't their fault so much, it was mine not taking the responsibility of understanding that, hey, I need structure. I need a commitment from people I pay to take care of.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, I didn't hear the doorbell. It's like I need to show up for my clients. I wasn't there. I wasn't feeling connected. Like I was just so disconnected, felt lost. I didn't have any help. So I remember going, and AZ gave me this advice. And well, it wasn't advice. It was just more like, hey, these kids she needs daycare. She needs a good daycare where they're going to watch her, take care of her, and know that they're going to be there. It's not going to be like, oh, well, I didn't have a babysitter, they didn't answer the door. It was like, no, you need that help because you're constantly show up 50% in, 50% out. It's like whenever the baby kind of controls you kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, it's that guilt that I was just like, I don't know if I can do this. So I do remember feeling that pressure in that conversation with my husband. And so we ended up picking a great daycare, and it was like constant. She was going there Monday through Friday. She developed like awesome personality, playing with other kids, crafts, and just going on little field trips. It was just nice to have made that move. But not all of us have that opportunity. We don't start off where some don't start off where they're able to afford daycare. Yeah. Or like I said, they don't have family in state, so they're left alone to manage their own kid. And I know that I've had several women that I come into this brokerage and are like, well, I don't know, I'm falling behind in business because no, I don't have anybody to watch my child. And they're already 3 or 4 years old. It's like, there's nothing wrong nowadays. Things have changed. I think many years back. Take your kid to work. Yeah. They will start to kind of be involved in your business and understanding when mommy's on the phone, mommy's with the client. Because even when I had the UPS store, when I had my retail store, I literally would take my baby, the newborn, in the car seat, and understand that I had to be up front running a business and yet being a mom. Yeah. So I was able to manage that, and many of us can do that. We're just not, we feel like that we have no way out. We feel trapped. We feel like our only solution is not work at all, or trying to be frustrated like, oh my gosh, I don't have a babysitter. Right. When in reality, we can make it all happen.
Yeah, and if your clients have a problem with your kid being with you, then you probably don't want to work with them.
There you are, perfect point.
Yeah, and for me, the decision to do daycare was a conversation I had with you because I was feeling the same exact way that you explained it. Like, I just felt lost, and I'm like, who's going to help me? I don't have anyone I can really depend on consistently, and I know that I could take Alina to work with me, but for myself, I needed to be fully present, and that meant having her in someone else's care for that time that I was with my clients. So I was really nervous about what that would cost because it was very expensive, but I took that leap of faith after having a conversation with you, and I knew that investment would pay itself back so many times over. I just had to do it. And so here we are. She's so much happier.
Right.
Being in a setting where she's like doing all kinds of arts and crafts and playing with her friends. I mean, her teachers are incredible. I love them so much, and she's happier and I'm happier.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. That's so great to hear.
Yeah.
I love that. And I see you completely different
yeah.
from when I first met you.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I love I've always loved the woman I met, but today is completely different.
Yeah.
Your business is on a completely different level. So it's really nice to hear that.
Thank you.
So what would you have done different, Carmella, now that you, I know you were so young, and you still are, aren't we all?
Yes, thank you. Come on, don't age me. I'm still young.
No, what I want to say is, what would you have done different? What would you tell a lot of the agents that are going through this? Like, what would you have done different from then to today?
From back in my early career is don't seek anyone else's approval. If I just would have stopped trying to please everyone and stopped I would stop myself in my tracks because I would worry what someone else would think of it, or if I wouldn't have someone else's approval. And all of that needs to go to the just out of your head. Like, make the decisions that you know are going to be best for you and your business, and don't give it second thought. Just do it.
Just go with it.
Just go and do it.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that this week by multiple women. It's just to do it. Like, stop thinking about it. Stop overthinking it.
And we do that as women, you know, or we seek our husband's approval, and then just if you, just like you, what you do, like, you're such a great example of that.
Oh, thank you.
You really are.
Just go with it.
You do.
Oh.
Seriously, like this podcast.
Grab this hug. Can you take a photo of this hug? It's going to be a big, great hug.
I love this lady.
No, thank you. I appreciate you, Carmella. You know, what, and this is my next question. Mm-hmm. What do you see here at A.Z. Associates that just has made, we've talked about a couple of subjects right now that just, thank you. Thank you.
I mean it.
What do you see that has brought so much value to you here at A.Z. Associates?
Where do I start? I'm not even joking. I love you guys so much. So I've been here for 5 years. I've been in the business 6 years. So I'm fortunate enough.
Congratulations, you've been part of a great brokerage.
Yes, I have been, and for 5 years. That, like, you guys bring so much to the table, and I mean, you see people come and go in this business because that's very normal. And it's never crossed my mind to leave because I'm getting everything that I need, the support, the fire that you guys keep under all of us. And I just really, I value your opinion. I value the way that you run business. I value the way you value each other, you and AZ, your children, your health, your mindset. I mean, everything, you cover it all. You don't get that at other places. You don't get that. So it's important to be able to be in an environment where you're supported in all avenues of life, not just business.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. So anybody, if you are wanting to make a change or just want to change the environment, if you're interested in wanting to get to know more about A.Z. Associates Real Estate Group here, you can go to badassagents.com and fill out the application and we'll give you a call. If you're new to the industry and you just don't know where to go, it's like, okay, now where do I start? This place is for you. Go to badassagents.com and fill out the application. Some of you have been in the industry for many years and just feel like your business isn't growing and something's just deeper than that. Something's going on. You're just kind of stuck. And again, you've been in the industry for years and you've hit a plateau. Go to badassagents.com and fill out the application. We'll give you a call. Come check us out. Talk to you soon. Thank you again, Carmella, for joining us. Again. Time. Where can we reach you, Carmella?
Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and Instagram. Find me. It's all personal. Well, it's personal and business because you get all of me as I am.
There you have it. Mm-hmm. Check out Carmella. You'll definitely love her page. I'm a big fan of hers. So everyone have a great day and thank you for joining me.